just move the camera display. Hey guys, Lord Wolf 99, back again with another video, and we are back again this week with the Brainless Believers podcast. And as always, with this series and many others on the channel, we have the one, the only...
How we doing, guys? You're all looking beautiful today. It's me, Adam. Your like assistant on this channel, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, at this point, you pretty much are, yeah. Oh shit! I just realised my headset's like was at a weird angle then. But anyway, guys, we're back with another podcast, and you know, with this podcast series, we're looking to sort of tell. I was going to say horror stories. It's kind of horror stories, paranormal stories, just things we find interesting, really. But it'll always be of a dark nature, so to speak. Last week we did. I can't even pronounce that fucking
Annalise
name. Anne
Michelle.
Frank. Yeah, that one.
Wow.
And so what we're doing is we're going to take it in turn, basically, guys, every week to come up with an idea, a story or whatever that we've looked up. So Adam came up with that one last week. So this week it's been my turn to look for something, and I believe I found something which is pretty cool. And I've gone for a British story because, you know, obviously we both are British. And I do apologise, guys. I am going to be looking down quite a lot. It's just because I'm reading the story on my phone. And, you know, I will look up. But if you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because I haven't memorised it. So, have you ever heard of Lady Howard, Adam?
Lady Howard. I mean, I've heard of the word lady, and I've heard of the word Howard.
Right.
But
okay.
No, I can't say I have. Lady Howard. I'm guessing, you know, it's back in the day because no one's called lady anymore. like sexist or something like that, right? To call someone lady.
No, it really would be these days, which is backward thinking, really. But you know, it is what it is. But no, this Lady Howard, you are correct. She was from the 1600s.
Oh, bloody hell! That's further than back in the day. That's like I was going to say like Tudor, that kind of era, late 1500s, 1600s, that kind of thing.
Well, you would be correct in saying that. But yeah, so let's just get on with this story. And I'm assuming you've all read the title before clicking onto this video, so you know that it involves a carriage made of bones.
Wow.
Yeah. So apparently this is quite a notable story of Dartmoor, like ghost stories. Like apparently it's quite notable over there. I've never heard of it personally, but you know.
No, you've never heard of Dartmoor?
No, I've heard of Dartmoor. I'm on about the story. I'm saying
I was like, what?
No, I'm saying the story is quite notable in Dartmoor.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. And apparently this story has been told around, you know, campfires and stuff like that. But I digress. So our story starts in the 1600s, guys, where we can find a man named John Fitz, who...
Hello, my name is John Fitz. Where's the Lady Howard? I'm just setting a scene for all of you, you know what I mean? This is going to be like an audible.
Yeah, of course.
An audiobook. I need to find Lady Howard, and I need to find her chastity belt. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Rupert, can you go find Lady Howard for me, darling? Thank you very much, yes.
You see, I don't think Lady Howard's actually been born yet, but...
Oh, shit.
John Fitz is 21. And he's inherited, like, a shit ton of money. And, you know, easy come, easy go. And that's exactly what happened with his wealth. It went, basically. And he basically...
What's he spent his wealth on?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say what he spent his money on. Probably women and booze. I don't know. There wasn't much else back then to entertain yourself with, was there? Um,
Probably not, actually.
he
Maybe a nice
also,
outfit.
yeah,
Maybe sneak energy.
yeah, Jesus. But apparently he made a long list of enemies, and yeah, it doesn't sound like he was a nice person, to be honest. But it was around this time when he'd lost his money, that he had a daughter who was called Mary, and her childhood was spent at the family pile of Fitzford House near Tavistock. And when she was 9 years old, as every young girl's father does, he committed suicide because he was totally insane.
That's where you was going with that. I was wondering where you're going with
Yeah.
that.
Well, we
And I
don't
was
all
like,
have dark minds like you.
well, no, I just know what
Yeah.
you're like.
Well,
And I heard
yeah.
the little bubble laughter, and I was like, oh god, this is going to be dark. I mean, it's only suicide, so.
Well,
Um,
exactly. But
right, so she's
apparently,
9, and
yeah,
so the main guy who's lost all his money has just committed suicide. Have I got
yeah,
that correct?
yeah. And now it's Mary, who's 9 years old. But here's the thing where I think this story goes a little bit wrong. It's like she then inherited his fortune, but I thought he wasted all his money. So, apparently he managed to get what fortune back and everything, and it attracted the eyes of many greedy people. And apparently King James the First
Oh.
actually intervened and sold Mary.
What?
Yeah, it says
Is that, is
he
that
sold
allowed?
Mary to the Earl of Northumberland, and then the Earl of Northumberland married her off to his brother, Sir Alan Percy. So yeah, your mind was in the right place. Apparently, it just wasn't her father.
Yeah, it was just the fucking king of the country.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, welcome to the UK, folks. These are the people that we put on a pedestal. You know,
Oh, great man!
it's
I
as
don't
if
know
the
what you're
Queen
about.
could just do that now. Do you reckon if the Queen tried to do that?
She just rocks up on a little horse and she gets off and knocks on your door. She's like, "I
Yeah.
have the youngest dauter of the
I mean,
household,
let's be honest.
please."
A certain member of the royal family, allegedly, but we won't go into that.
Oh,
I feel like
Jesus.
a hitman's just been called on me now, but that's all allegedly. Am I saying I believe it?
Yeah, allegedly.
Who knows? What I am saying is that in the news, there's a lot of rumours that a certain prince, the first letter begins with A, the rest of his name is Andrew, was up to a little bit no good with a certain Epstein fella. Yeah, but that's all allegedly.
Do you remember when we tried playing that game called Ark and you tried creating a server called Epstein's Island? Oh, God. Anyway, back to the story.
Just a coincidence. That's because a friend back in the day of mine, one of my very good friends, used to be called Jack Epstein.
Right, okay, is that what we're going for?
Yeah.
But anyway, because she was sold, her family's fortune then obviously moved over to Sir Alan Percy. Yeah. But unfortunately, Sir Percy never actually lived long enough to enjoy the money, because whilst he was on a hunting trip, he caught a fever. And, back in those days, that's it, you got a fever, he dead. He died.
Never know how much I love. I got a fever. It serves him right for fucking hunting. That's what should happen. I reckon. I wish people could get people hunting. I wish they could get fevers now. That killed them instantly. Do you know what I mean? Like what?
Like a certain virus going around.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So basically, this tragedy then left Mary free to find her own true love, who came along in the guise of one Thomas Darcy, and they eloped together. And they got married, much to the annoyance of the Percy family.
Hang on a minute. What's his name?
Thomas Darcy.
Mr.
Darcy.
Mr. Darcy. Who I'm pretty sure is like the main person in Pride and Prejudice, is it not?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay. I can see where this is going.
But unfortunately,
for fuck's sake.
Her second marriage was also doomed to end in tragedy, as a few months later Thomas Darcy also died. So
Christ.
once again, this rich widow, Mary Howard, became the target for fortune hunters, and, they chanced her arm, and
I'm
she
sorry,
chanced her
right?
arm, and she married again.
If I was back in the day, right, and I was the Earl of Humberley or
Northumberland.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, if I was an Earl of somewhere, right, or if
Mm.
I was, and there was this rich woman walking around, and I'd be like, oh, okay, right. But I saw that everyone she'd been with has, like, mysteriously died not that long after. I would be running away. I would not be getting attracted to the fucking thing. I'd be going, stay away from me, Mary. You're a curse. I don't know why she's attracting people by this point. Everyone she comes in contact with is dying, all right? Maybe whether or not they were cunts, that's a separate issue. But they were dying.
Well, it's
so I'd
money,
stay
isn't
well
it?
away from her.
Yeah, but she'd got
Yeah,
money.
money does crazy things. Yeah.
Exactly. But she tried her hand at marriage again, so she's on husband number 3. And but this time she managed to secure her wealth in a way so that no man could get it. Apparently, it doesn't say how. It just says yeah. But the third husband wasn't happy with that. And the marriage was one long constant argument about the fortune. But I bet you can't guess where this is going.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately, husband number 3 died
Oh, wow.
of causes unknown, aka
Wow.
Mary.
Yeah, also known as Mary killed the motherfucker, poisoned him.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Again,
So-
I don't want no Mary coming around.
For the 4th time, she ended up, a widow, and only this time she was actually the subject of some accusations, and people were starting to suspect her a little bit of the deaths of her previous husbands.
Yeah, right, hang on. It's taken her 3 husbands all to die within a couple of weeks or months being with her. So then people go, hang on a minute. This Mary...
People were
this
simple
is
back then,
weird.
though. People were stupid, so...
I mean, it doesn't take a scientist to work out, anyone, a proper engineer, to turn around and go, okay, yeah, this Mary, there's something weird going on here. First of all, she doesn't have money, and all of a sudden her dad dies, and she then gets loads of money, and then her 3 husbands who are trying to steal money off her die. And I'm guessing she probably got more money off them as well.
Probably.
When they died. So
I mean, it says here, though, which is kind of funny, 1 was a tragedy, 2 was a sad coincidence, but 3 got tongues a-wagging and fingers a-pointing. But she wasn't deterred, and, eventually she found herself husband number 4, please!
hey, step on up.
Oh, and this one lasted a bit longer, long enough for her to give birth to a young baby boy called George. But then not long after the birth, then husband number 4 died. She's just like, nah, I don't like this. Nah, you give me a son. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently it left... Oh, wait, what? Oh, God. Right, okay, so after husband number 4 died, she decided to return to the now derelict family pile of Fitzhouse, where with her son she planned to live out the rest of her days. Isn't that sweet?
Oh, that's nice.
Unfortunately...
Oh my god. If her son dies now, I'm going to lose my shit.
It wasn't very long before her son died too,
Oh my god.
leaving Mary home alone.
Poor George. I don't know who to feel sorry for now. Because instantly my mind's going, she's killing everyone. Because they're all
just don't
trying
like
to steal money
males.
off her. But, actually, if I'm trying to switch my brain, she might just be a very unfortunate person and everyone around her is dying. Is it a coincidence or is she just,
Unlucky.
a back in the day Ted Bundy female version, I'm still trying to figure this out.
Well, it's a mystery, isn't it? But then apparently the death of her son actually left her heartbroken. So much so that she didn't find a new husband, she didn't have any more kids, and a few weeks later she joined him along with all four of her husbands in eternity. But the story doesn't end there.
Oh.
So you can imagine like all the
Yeah.
stories about her and everything. Like there's accusations and everything,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
it didn't take long before people started seeing her ghost.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it says here, legend has it that some divine entity sentenced her to spend eternity doing penance for her evil
What
deeds.
was this Mary's last name?
Howard.
Howard.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is Lady. This must be the Lady Howard thing because I thought she had a weird first name, no last name.
Right.
But no, maybe it was just Howard. But okay.
But apparently, this ghost was given the task of travelling each night from Fitz's house to Oakhampton Castle.
How does this article know this? The ghost was given the task.
With the legend in it, so. But she was accompanied by a huge black dog with blood red eyes and savage fangs. The nightly 30-mile round trip is taken in a carriage made from the bones of her four dead husbands and is driven by a headless driver. On reaching the castle, the black dog plucks a single blade of grass from the castle mound. Both dog and blade are returned to the carriage of Burns, after which it rattles back to Tavistock. Once the grisly coach has returned to Fitzhouse, the blade of grass is carefully laid on a flat slab of granite. Only after all the grass has been removed from the castle mound at Oakhampton will Mary be allowed to rest in peace, which, judging by the lush covering, will be a long time away.
Oh my god.
Wait. If the phantom coach should stop outside any house, then an occupant was sure to die, as would anyone for who the coach stopped on the road. Oh my god. Those that have witnessed the ghostly journey say that the first thing you notice is the rattling of the coach of Burns as it thunders along the road. As it approaches, the night air chills and the sound of thundering hoofs grows louder and louder. Suddenly, a huge black dog with crimson eyes hurtles down the road, although some folks say it has but one eye in the center of its forehead. The dog is closely followed by the coach of bones. On each of the four corners is a skull belonging to each of her four husbands. Its headless driver relentlessly lashes the four stallions with a long blood-stained whip. Again, reports differ as some suggest that along with the driver the horses are headless as well. As the coach passes, the ghostly white figure of a lady can be seen sitting in the back. If you're really lucky, her head will turn, revealing two eyeless sockets sunk deep into a pallid, grimacing face. After the carriage has sped by, the stench of rotting flesh is left wafting heavily on the night air. For those daft enough to continue the journey, there is a treat in store by way of seeing the coach on its return journey.
I'm not being funny. I think we need to visit this place.
I think we
And we need
should.
to camp outside because I'm not believing this story for a fucking second. Right, I'm already a skeptic when it comes to the best ghost and the best paranormal and the best demon stories out there. I'm already a massive skeptic. This bullshit right here, I mean, if you're lucky enough to see that, but surely if she looks at you, that means she stopped outside your house, which means you're dead, right?
You would think so, right? Yeah.
Because that's what it's just said. If she stops outside, you're sure to die. But
I mean, unless it's going so slow that, you can look through the window and see Lady Howard. You never know, do you? It's a horse and carriage. It's probably not going that quick. But I don't know. It's a creepy one, but we should definitely go and have a look.
Dartmoor, shall I have a look? Let me have a look. I know there's a castle in Dartmoor.
Well, yeah, I think
In
that's the
fact-
castle that was in the story, probably.
In fact, I've been to Dartmoor.
Have you actually?
Yeah, it's near Cornwall. I've
did,
been there.
did, did you see Lady Howard?
Um, mm, I mm, I saw a woman with dark eyes. She was wearing a really short skirt on a street corner. I
Right.
don't know whether that was Lady Howard.
I'm gonna hazard a guess at no. But she was some other promiscuous woman of the night.
Maybe her name was Howard though.
Yeah,
Dartmoor. Hang
maybe.
on, so
What you found?
now I'm just having a look. It's a really nice castle actually.
Is it?
Oh, so she actually was a real person, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Was the daughter-in-law of King Henry VIII.
Fair. It's pretty cool.
Well,
I mean, there is like a poem that I want to read that's attached to this story, which is pretty cool. So whilst you're looking at that, I'm going to read it out.
yeah, do it.
My lady hath a sable coach, and horses two and four. My lady hath a black bloodhound that runneth on before. My lady's coach hath nodding plumes, the driver hath no head. My lady is an ashen white, as one that long is dead. Now pray step in, my lady saith, now pray step in and ride. I thank thee, I had rather walk than gather by thy side. The wheels go round without a sound or tramp or turn of wheels, as cloud at night in pale moonlight along the carriage steals. I'd rather walk 100 miles and run by night and day, than have the carriage halt for me and hear the lady say, now pray step in and make no din, step in with me and ride. There's room, I trow, by me for you, and all the world beside. I quite like that. It's a pretty cool poem. It's very cool, actually.
Yeah, it's changed my life.
Dickhead.
Um,
I'm gonna see if I can't get some pictures up. Maybe people have done like artist impressions of a lady Howard.
I mean, I'm not going to lie.
What?
I'm rating. Okay, so I think we should do ratings on um, believability,
Right.
scareability, right?
Mm.
And then combine those numbers, right? So in terms of the believability is kind of like did this happen, and kind of what is said, like, is that the truth?
Right.
And then the
Okay.
scareability, even if you don't think it happened, like the story, so like take the story of it and judge it based on that.
I don't find most things scary though. I just find it interesting.
No, yeah, but like, but you can realize like some stories are scarier than others, right? So like,
Right.
in
Okay.
my opinion, there is no doubt about it. Like episode one,
Mm.
that is
And we're doing it out of
like
10 on a scale from 1 to 10.
both of them out of 10. So then it's out of 20
Right.
total. So we'll do the first episode first. So what in terms of believability? I mean, that for me is like, I mean, factually that happened.
Mm.
So that's already means it's going to be a high mark. But in terms of did it happen, in terms of how they say it happened, that's
Yeah.
what would, you know.
I'd probably give it a 7 or an 8. So I'd say 7.5 for the first episode on
Are
believability.
we doing 0.5? All right,
Yeah,
we'll do
fuck
0.5.
it.
So for believability, for the Annalise Michelle, you're putting 7.5. I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's hard as a skeptic. It definitely happened. You know for a fact she got exercised, but I don't know if all this stuff, and I mean there's audio recordings of it.
Mm,
But I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a 9. I think it happened. Do I believe it was demons and stuff? But it definitely happened. She was definitely, fucked up. So I'm going to go
right.
with a 9. Scareability for the first one. Phew.
I'll let you go first on that one.
Scaribility. Now, this is what that it's been one of the stories that when I think of ghost stories, or when I'm told, whenever I'm talking about ghost stories to someone, I always bring up this case. So clearly, it's fucking impacted me. And I remember watching it, and then like it would always pop up suggested videos about Annalise Michelle on YouTube, and I had to delete my search history and everything because I hated the videos popping up. So when you put the fucking picture, like this is how mad it is. So Tommy sent me the picture of the thumbnail. I had to take it off my messenger because for some reason it freaks me out. So I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say an 8.5 for scaribility.
I'll go with a 7.
A 7.
Yeah, it's got to be really fucking scary to get me to give it a high mark.
So yours was a 14.5.
Yeah, in total, yeah.
And plus, so mine was a 9. And then what did I give it?
Didn't you give it 7.5? Did you give it a 7.5?
So I feel like I don't know.
Well, I can't rewind and check. So.
No. Scaribility, I'm going to give it an 8.5 and a 9.
Right. Okay.
Right, which means that combined out of 40 is 32, which is a solid score.
Yeah, for the first episode, that's not bad. That is not bad at all.
For the first, so well done, Annalise Michelle. You're on 32. Lady Howard.
You go first with believability. You go first.
Okay, believability. I mean, there was a woman called Lady Howard, so that's right. Okay, that's some believability points. But again, we've got to focus on the story. Is the story true? And I don't think it is. But because there was a woman, it wouldn't surprise me if something happened along the lines of, back in the day, wealth was such an important thing. Men did die. So maybe the chances maybe... I wouldn't be too surprised if this whole thing about Lady Howard, she married and then they died, and then she married again and they died, and she married again and they died. So I actually think that could be true. But in terms of the whole ghost story about it, I don't think it is. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. See, it's interesting because I've just read more about it, and like her father did commit suicide, and she did have 4 husbands. The third one died. I think the first 2 did as well. The third one died, and then the 4th one treated her like shit, and they ended up divorcing. So yeah, but at no time in her life had she been remotely considered as an evil woman. She was apparently held in high regard, and she gave birth to several children.
Oh.
And she was 75 when she died.
And that's a decent age in the 1600s.
Oh yeah, definitely. So based on that, I'll give, if I hadn't have read that, I would have given the believability same as you 4. But based on knowing that, I'm going to still give it a 2, because obviously nobody knows what really happened. There'll be minimum records that show that basic information, but we don't know if she actually killed them. Those first 3 husbands did die, so I'll give it a 2 on believability.
All right, I'm changing mine to a 3 now.
Right. Okay.
So, scaribility. Did you find it scary?
I'll give it 4 for that. I'll give it a 4.
Okay, I'm going to give it a... I'll also give it a 4, simply not because of the story, but because of the nice poem that you read.
Right.
That was the scariest thing about the story.
Great.
So that is also a 4, which takes it up to a 13 out of 40.
Ooh.
Lady Howard is going to be hunting us down in a little... I mean, she's got a long way to travel if she wants to get up to our 2 places. But,
well, yeah. But...
And if she can't travel that far in Dartmoor, it's going to take her a hell of a long time. I mean, I'll probably be dead by the time she gets near London. And then, you're further north than me, so it's going to take even longer for her to get to you.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, 13 out of 40. So right now, I don't know, but it was an interesting one. There's something quite, I think, not romantic, but something quite nostalgic about really old English
Yeah.
stories. When there's no photography, when there's no audio recordings of it.
And when you look it up, there's always those like not crude, but like old stylistic drawings of people of what they might have looked like and stuff like that, which I always find
Yeah,
interesting. Um, but yeah, like that's not the point of this series, guys. It's not to find like the most scariest story. Like we'll do the rating system purely for fun, but I think the point of this series is to just have a good time and find stories that maybe we haven't necessarily heard, or like the
yeah.
viewers might not have heard of, and just try and find the weirdest, like craziest things we can find. And I don't know, I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying the series so far. We've only done two
I think
episodes, but
as well. So I was laid in bed last night,
mm,
and I was thinking, like, this podcast is not going to be all, stories that we find on the internet. We will be talking about our own experiences because I was actually laid down and I was thinking, there's not been. Tommy's had a lot more experiences with this shit than me, so obviously, there's going to be a podcast based upon that. But been a few occasions where something has happened and I've been like, okay, that's a little bit fucking weird. And then there's stories from people that I really trust who have told me stories, and who I'd probably say, okay, well, there is truth to that story, because there's so many stories on the internet, you don't know who's putting them out there. But it's
yeah,
different when like a family member or a friend tells you, who wouldn't bullshit when they tell you a story. And there's been like a couple of experiences that I've had as well. So it's not going to be just every podcast ain't going to just be a story that we found on the internet. It is going to be our experience as well. Maybe next week's episode will be that. But yeah, but I'm loving it. And like I say, if there's any suggestions you want us to read out, leave them down in the comments. All that goodness, because we are just as excited about, so we don't just want to do stories that we've heard of or that are famous. I want to dig a bit deeper and do stories that are not out in the public eye. And hopefully, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know about you, but if this becomes like a big thing and people actually enjoy this, I would love actually going to these places, doing the podcast in the place and recording it with a camera and having us there. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it'd be
actually
good to
have
do
us
like a vlog
investigate
type
the
thing.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that'd be an amazing thing. But right now we're too skint
I feel
and we
like
don't
that's
have
the
any
thing
money.
as well, right? And I feel like that's quite a niche thing on YouTube at the minute. Obviously, the broader idea of going places and doing stuff like that isn't niche, but it mainly happens in America. There's not many
Yeah,
channels or people in the UK that do it, and I think that would
yeah.
be a really good idea if we could get
Or up to
together.
a good standard. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? If they're filmed on like crappy little potato phones and they're from like the early 2000s, you can't see anything.
yeah,
Whereas I would want to go there, do like an investigation, and then even film like an hour's podcast in the fucking dungeon of a castle somewhere that's apparently got Anne Boleyn's ghost in it or something. Do you know what I mean? Not that I think we'd be allowed to film a podcast where Anne Boleyn's
no.
ghost is haunting in wherever it is, like the King's House or whatever.
I
But
feel like that's the thing as well, because like we watch stuff together sometimes, guys. Like we'll sit in a party and put the same thing on YouTube and watch it, and like, we constantly call people out who we're watching because you can tell when it's fake and when people are trying to fake stuff, and we wouldn't do that because we don't see the point. If nothing happens, nothing
nothing
happens.
happens. Yeah.
Like it's not the end of the world, and we're not gonna fake something happening. Like the
Like,
chances of
how
things
good would
happening are
that be?
slim.
Like, how good would that be? Like, because we've got a believer, we've got a skeptic,
Yeah.
and we both don't bullshit each other. So it'd be really good to film it, do the investigation, put that up, and then have like another series where we do the podcast talking about the experience, talking about everything that went, in further detail.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of
Envision this
vision
going.
this going.
Yeah.
And hopefully, obviously, we'd need your guys' support in order to do that, and we'd need you to like and comment and
And
subscribe and do all
subscribe,
that
yeah.
good thing.
Get doing it all,
that's
guys.
why we want it to go, and who knows? I believe it can happen because we're the best fucking ghost investigators going.
Oh, 100%. I mean, at the moment, it is still at the point where this is a hobby, so I don't have a lot of, like, I'm doing loads of videos at the moment. I don't have the extra time to put into, like, massive amounts of editing or anything like that, guys. So at the moment, these videos are made with not poor quality, because I think our voices and the sound quality and everything like that is great. But in terms of like having an introduction and things like that, the channel's not quite there because I don't have the time to do that. But there is a lot of love on this channel, especially from me, because obviously I'm the creator of the channel. Um, but at the moment, I am putting a lot of effort in, guys, and I'm working out how to do new stuff. Like it's one of them things. I've been doing YouTube, and Adam can attest to this, and the channel can attest to this. I've been doing it for like about 6 years now, and I'm still learning stuff now. Like as I've started scheduling stuff, I'm learning how to edit more because like me and Sophie are doing that series, and it's actually requiring me to edit like on my phone. Like it is only on my phone. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like I'm putting everything on a computer and editing it like that. But I'm learning new tools and new apps to use to try and make it look the best it can. So I feel like I'm getting better. I don't know about you because you do watch some of my videos. Like, what are your thoughts on the sort of progression of my channel?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the thing is like most YouTubers that are most YouTubers. This is what I don't understand, and maybe it's because I'm really naive to it. But when I hear YouTubers going, "I've got no time to film," and yet they've got three different editors, so they literally film and then they send it off and it gets edited, and then
Yeah,
And I sometimes wonder like, how have you not got time? You work, pretty much every normal weekday,
yeah,
from early in the morning till, about 5:30,
mm,
and you still manage to put out so many fucking videos. You're probably averaging more than a video a day or whatever, maybe 7 or 8 videos a week.
Well,
And
I worked it out for December. I'm putting out between 15 and 17 videos a week. Like
fucking hell.
there's a lot. Like that's what I
So
mean.
that's what I mean. That's like what, like two a day,
Yeah,
two
two or
or
three
three
a
a day
day.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So and during that you're getting a thumbnail, you're doing that, you're on a couple of those videos you are editing. So you're putting so much effort in, and the quality has gone up.
mm,
And what I do think as well is that you've opened your mind in terms of you're actually doing more content, more different content.
yeah,
It's not just you going on and playing a game. If you are playing a game, it might be a different game to something else. You're putting your face cam in, which is good. You're doing these podcasts. You're doing the Lunar Legends. You're coming at loads of different angles, and I think that's good. And that is why I'd want to. And the thing is, guys, is if we did get to a point where and I know it's not about money, but obviously if we were going to do this thing where we go to different places, it would be because we were getting financial help from YouTube.
yeah.
If that was the case, I know what me and Tommy are like. We would fucking invest in getting, good tripod, a really fucking good camera, good like pin on microphone so that you could hear us really well.
Yeah, we'd make it the
You know
best we possibly could. Right.
exactly, and it would be like unbelievable, 1080p, proper good quality with fantastic mics and everything like that. And we'd maybe even like it would just be us two. Obviously, we'd have to pay a hell of a lot of money to hide these places out just for us two, and maybe stay overnight and stuff like that. But so we'd need the financial help because financially we wouldn't be able to do that.
Mm.
But that's where I want it to go. Obviously, we need people's help to do that. But if it's something that you'd be interested in seeing, I'm not saying donate money, but you can help by literally just sharing the video, liking it, because that's how you start off, right?
Yeah,
So
100%. I mean,
that's. I mean,
I've been
I'm
on.
also not saying if you want to, cash in 200 quid for us, do that, please.
Yeah,
But,
100% send it. But like that's the thing. Like I've been sat on just over 40 subs for pretty much since I started, like 6 years ago, and it doesn't fluctuate much. Every now and then I get an extra sub or I lose a sub. It don't fluctuate much, but I don't know. I feel like the more effort I'm putting in with it, the more I might potentially get out of it. Like, I don't know, because it is one of them things. Like, it as well. Like, if you're searching, I noticed this the other day. If because I'm playing like the first Amnesia game and stuff, that came out like 10, 11 years ago, so not many people are playing it at the moment. So then, if you search for it, there's a higher chance that like I'll actually come up, if that makes sense. And I do quite like that about YouTube's algorithms because it does help you get noticed, I feel. But I don't know, it'd be nice to sort of skyrocket, even just to 100. Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm rambling and going on a bit now. Story ended about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe it's Lady Howard. Maybe this is how you die.
Yeah, maybe.
She's gonna come and see you tonight.
Hey, one can only hope.
Uh,
Uh, but we are the Brainless Believers, guys. And, we are enjoying this series. So we hope you are enjoying this series so far. And we hope you've enjoyed this episode. And with that being said, guys, I will let Adam do a quick little bye bye.
bye bye. That's it.
Fair enough. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye bye.